sweet baby Jesus. The lucky bear. Merry Christmas, motherfucker. Happy birthday. And look at that. Look at that. There's the Magdalene. Holding them close. And you may think, that can't be the Magdalene. She's blonde. Well, come on, man. Look at all the fucking names of his friends. Matthew, Mark. My cousin Mark is a blonde. Matt Zaremba, he was like a white blonde as a kid. He had doubled up toes. They were glued together like the Aquaman. Luke, the only Luke I ever knew was blonde. And John. I mean, I'm sure I could find one if I looked. Merry Christmas, motherfucker. Old friend of mine, you know, I remember he would talk all the time complaining. He's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, woe is me. He'd say, I can't stand it. All the years growing up, I'm wanting to celebrate my birthday and be shown that I was the most special person in the room, and instead they're fucking celebrating Christmas. I got screwed on gifts. And, you know, we used to be able to relate about that because I myself was born on Thanksgiving Day, which meant as a kid, I was getting screwed. I mean, sure, I was getting my gifts, but it was so boring. Everybody was in love with everybody else and thanking everybody else for the things they did. And I'm like, what about me? And as it turns out, looking back, they were right. What did I ever do for him? Screwed my dad out of his Thanksgiving dinner because he had to drive me to Petoskey to get me out of town to be born. But then as an adult, I'm like, well, look at this. I get 4-day weekends almost all the fucking time for my birthday. It's a 4-day birthday always because of Thanksgiving, the way it falls, always on a Thursday. And I'm trying to explain this to Jesus. I'm like, you get to get fucking drunk for like 4 days in a row all the time, the way your birthday falls. You know, most times you get at least a 3-day weekend. I mean, it's not as good as me. However, right there in the middle of the week sometimes. But it didn't ever make him very happy. Because, as it turns out, even though he was making wine for everybody, he was a little bit like Charles Manson in that way. Like giving out acid, you know, Charlie Manson, he used to give acid to everybody, to have everybody in the clan fucking eating all this acid, and he'd just take a little bit, and he'd watch them all get fucked up, and he'd tell them what to do. That Jesus would have a drink or two, but he was never enjoying it because he always felt like he had to be in control of a situation and to run people around. And, well, what's that all about? It's about Christmas. It's about friends. And think of Judas, his best friend. He spilled his guts. You see, I'm something of what I would call an etymolophile. An etymolophile. I made that word up from etymology, the understanding word, but an etymolophile, I have this love of understanding words and phrases and where they came from. And spilled his guts. There is a thing where Judas went up in a tree and hanged himself. after turning that guy in, his friend, because his friend said, you need to do it. His friend had ideas that were beyond Judas. Judas has an idea of, we're going to do this now. And Jesus he sees far. He's like, we can fuck people up for years and years and years if I just let him kill me. He's not coming back except in our memories. And our memories, as awful as they are, they still remain. And it drives people. It makes people argue. But it said in one thing that I saw, that he climbed up in the tree, got the rope, and he ran off the highest branch and threw himself up. And that's the way, sometimes when people do it that way, he wanted to get it right. Wasn't going to be hanging around thinking about things. I've thought enough. It's time to get out of here. And they say sometimes the guts will spill out of you when so he spilled his guts. How does that work into the way we say it? It means somebody fucking ratted somebody out and then hanged himself for it. At a high rate of speed. Spilled his guts. It's not somebody that's looking to get off light. It's somebody that just has to do it and doesn't feel good about it in such a way that they're ending their own lives too. They suffer the same as the suffered. And the reason I like to understand these things is because here we walk around, and if we don't understand the things that we keep spouting out, blah, 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 at the end of the day, what does that mean? I don't know. We just blah, blah. We just parrot things. We repeat them to the point that we don't even look into what it's supposed to mean anymore. We just say it. And we have to look into these things, what they mean. Otherwise, we're nothing but a bunch of animals grunting familiar sounds to get past the things we're afraid to think.